The doors opened just a few moments ago. You can see there is already a line behind me. So since this is new, I kind of wanted just to walk everyone through the process. What a difference a year makes. Think about where we were this time last year. We were in the height of the pandemic. They say this is their first project of the year where they're giving back to the community. And these events are just so popular. So today the goal is to serve about 800 families in need. What you see right now is the venue that will hold more than 9,000 seats. We caught up with the general manager. Less than 48 hours before the Georgia Senate runoff, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris visited the Savannah area to campaign on behalf of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. This is North America's largest and most realistic dinosaur exhibit that is in the hostess city all weekend long. But there's also just so much to do at the festival. You can see this one behind me. That is perfect for kids of all ages. You know, this is the first full festival since 2018. Just before the grand opening of the largest municipal project in the city of Savannah history, Mayor Van Johnson says the city is ready to share this facility with the entire community. Although the parade was canceled, we are still bringing these events to you virtually. And Mike, this is probably the most important event for the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. If you take a look at this line behind me, we actually just got word the end of this line is the end of the first shipment. How does it feel being on this side of the campaign, last time running as vice president and now running for the White House?
It's very exciting.
While looking ahead to the future of the area, we can't forget about the people already there. Our Cyreia Sandlin spent some time in the Carver Village neighborhood to find out what locals are saying about this project.
Norris Wilson owns a car wash shop just down the road from the new arena. He says although he probably won't be attending any events anytime soon,
I can't afford it. It costs too much.
He feels optimistic about what's to come and new jobs for Carver Village residents.
Oh, it's going to be good for the neighborhood. I hope it'll be good for my business, or they'll be walking distance. That's number one. Number two, they have a check coming in every 2 weeks or every week.
Ulysses Jackson lives in Carver Village and believes the arena will be great for Savannah overall, but he just hopes to see plenty of jobs.
It all depends on how much jobs come into the neighborhood, or how much the neighborhood can benefit from it.
Charlie Jenkins is also a Carver Village resident and says the arena will have a ripple effect.
It's good for the community to clean up some of the other excessive stuff that we have going on, because there'll be more police officers in the area.
And most importantly, he believes the new arena is more accessible than other parts of the city.
Where the city center is downtown, it's so difficult to find somewhere to park. This is all in the opening, so once they get it done, I'm pretty sure they'll have plenty of places to park.
In Savannah, Cyreia Sandlin, WTOC News. We continue our coverage of Friday night's mass shooting in Savannah that left 2 people dead and 6 others injured. 5 days later, we still don't have many answers about what exactly happened. I sat down with Savannah Police Chief Roy Minter to find out more about that tragic night, crime in our city, and what he says they need from the community. There's a lot of speculation in the community and even from neighboring communities about this mass shooting, the motive, the cause, and a lot of people are pointing to gangs. Does Savannah have a gang problem right now?
Well, what I can tell you is kind of the same thing I said at the press conference this morning, is we are seeing gang involvement. I don't know if I'd categorize it as a problem, but if you look at the level of violence that we're seeing in this city, some of it may be gang involved. I think it's something that really deserves a higher level of attention in our community. Really, one of the important things is we need to look at what's causing the culture of gangs in our community. And once we determine that, what do we do about addressing that culture of gang in our community? But we need to look at everything. We need to look at, some of the root causes of some of the crime that we've been dealing with for quite some time here in Savannah. Poverty, blight, education, employment, mentoring, reentry program. These are some of the things that we're looking at, and we're talking about a holistic, community-based approach.
Savannah Police Chief Roy Minter believes Friday night's shooting stemmed from an incident that happened earlier in the week.
And I believe we probably do have individuals out there in that area who may have had some information that they could have provided to us on Tuesday. I believe that we would have been able to follow up on that information, and maybe we would have been able to prevent what happened on Friday night.
So why won't those people come forward?
First thing is fear of retaliation or retribution. I think that's big. I think the other thing is this culture of not providing information to the police, whether you want to call it not snitching or something like that.
Chief Minter says this sets a dangerous precedent.
If there's drug dealing going on out there, if people aren't letting us know, it's going to continue. If there's gang activity going on out there, if people aren't willing to bring that information forward, it's going to continue. If there are other criminal activities that are going on out there, if people aren't willing to bring that information forward and have that discussion with us, it's only going to continue.
And he has one simple plea for the entire community.
If you don't want to talk to us for any other reason, please provide us with information for the sake of that 18-month-old infant.
We've raised already more than $6,000, and many of you at home are probably wondering, where does all this money go? Well, I spoke with the United Way of the Coastal Empire's executive director about the funding and a woman who is now forever grateful for their help. A little more than 6 weeks ago, the United Way of the Coastal Empire knew they had to act quickly.
In early March, we decided we knew we needed to respond quickly to the needs of people. People were already being laid off. Businesses were already being closed. We knew there were people who had medical needs or child care needs or some kind of an essential need, and we needed to be able to help to meet that demand.
And with that, the Rapid Response Fund was born to help people in our community with immediate and crucial needs.
The highest need by far that we are seeing through our 211 and our county service centers is rent and mortgage assistance. Trying to help people stay stable in their housing has been probably the largest demand on us and critical.
Tequila Cyreia is a volunteer with United Way through her employer, the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. She spent the past few weeks helping children in need.
We were giving out backpacks on the weekends, supplying basically the community and the kids that's in school with backpack lunches for the weekends so that they're still having food and getting nourished while this pandemic is going on.
Like millions of other Americans dealing with the financial hardships of this pandemic, she too needed some help. And of course, the United Way stepped right in.
It's a struggle right now. I have 4 children and, virtual learning is what we're doing right now. So we have to get laptops and get them connected and stay on top of that also and worry about our bills and everything at the same time. They was just telling us all about different resources they had together. It's just not for the community. Us workers that's also could, So I took advantage of it, and they also paid my rent for the month of May.
And she definitely doesn't take this for granted.
Thank you. Without them, I don't know, not even just for me, the whole community. You've really been a great, great help for us, and I don't know what we would do without you because it's a real struggle right now for the community.
And just to put in perspective how big that struggle is, 1 in 3 Americans were unable to pay their rent last month. So you can only imagine the United Way of the Coastal Empire has been getting thousands of calls to help people keep a roof over their heads and help people keep food on their table. And that is exactly why we are here, to raise money for that Rapid Response Fund. Ken. Long lines wrapped around the Savannah Civic Center all morning long. Testing at the site just reopened after closing for a couple of weeks. This comes as cases of the coronavirus rise across the state. WTOC's Sean Evans joining us now live with a look at how those lines are over there now. Sean, what are you seeing? Thank you, Sean. The Low Country also saw long lines for COVID-19 testing. The town of Hilton Head posted on its social media today they're seeing long lines at Station 4. They are asking people to pre-register to help speed up this process. And cases of the coronavirus only continue to skyrocket in Chatham County and the entire state of Georgia. On Friday, Georgia set a new record with more than 26,000 new cases reported. That's after setting another record last Wednesday with more than 25,000 cases reported. And with surging case numbers and problems with the state systems, we're seeing delays in data getting reported on the state dashboard. But in the Coastal Health District's most recent Community Transmission Index update, that metric soared to more than 1,200. Remember, that measures the number of new COVID-19 infections in the past week per 100,000 residents. Any number greater than 100 is considered high community transmission. We do have an update about a big event happening this weekend at the Savannah Civic Center. The End Market Savannah Hockey Classic is back. Now, in accordance with the City of Savannah's updated COVID policies, attendees must provide proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within 72 hours of entry. Additionally, masks are required while inside the venue for anyone 2 and up, except while actively eating or drinking. The Civic Center will be offering free COVID-19 rapid tests on site both nights of the event for those unable to show proof of vaccine. And the Centers for Disease Control says 99% of Americans live in areas at high risk of infection from COVID, and hospitalizations are up more than 30%. Naomi Ruckham has the latest COVID headlines from New York City. Well, the Supreme Court justices on Friday heard arguments about President Biden's new rules for businesses and another rule requiring vaccine mandates for healthcare workers at facilities receiving Medicare and Medicaid funds. Now, the justices are expected to issue an expedited ruling. Let's take a live look outside on your Monday morning. Kind of a cloudy, gloomy day. Started off wet. Now the cold is moving in. Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley joining us now with your forecast. David, it's drying out, but kind of gloomy out there. Well, an officer involved shooting in Toombs County leaves one woman injured and a man in custody. Here's what we know. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says Lyons police responded to the CKT trailer park on East Clifton Avenue yesterday, where they saw 32-year-old Charles James driving through yards of homes. After a short chase on foot, he was arrested on Jones Street. The GBI says 17-year-old Talia Williams was also in the car and drove away, but eventually had to get out and run because of a flat tire. She was shot and wounded by a Georgia State Patrol trooper who joined the chase earlier. No word on the extent of her injuries. The GBI continues to investigate what happened. I'm Mariah Congita. Will have more coming up later tonight on the news. One resident waking up without a home in Long County after their house caught fire over the weekend. Long County officials say it happened last night on Highway 84. Take a look at these flames. When firefighters arrived on the scene, the house was fully engulfed. Hinesville Fire, Long County Fire, and Waltowerville Fire departments were called in to assist with that blaze. So far, we know the firefighters were able to get the fire under control, but at least one person has been displaced. The house is a total loss. Also, an apartment fire in Hinesville last night. Officials with the Hinesville Fire Department say it was at the Colonial Apartments on Pineland Avenue. Crews arrived to heavy fire damage to the back of the building. Officials say there's damage to multiple units, leaving several families without a home. The American Red Cross will be contacted to help the families. Fort Stewart and Liberty County Fire Departments assisted with putting out those flames. And today is the first day of the 2022 legislative session in Georgia. During the General Assembly, we expect to hear about the constitutional carry law in Georgia, which will ease some of the restrictions on guns in the Peach State. Another topic we'll likely hear a lot about this session is the expansion of Medicaid and the Livable Wage Act, which would move the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Now, for some local representatives, like Jesse Petrie, one thing he hopes to get done this session is to eliminate state income tax on military retirement income. And Representative Carl Gilliard says he has a goal to work on getting Braille into early education classrooms. Locally, we're keeping an eye on finalizing redistricting for Chatham County and the school district. We're also watching the Tybee Island license plate project, public transportation needs of Chatham County as a whole, and the possible rail service between Savannah and Atlanta.